All right, everybody, welcome to a Wednesday night edition of CPS Victims Searching for Hunting for Justice. I am your host, CPS Punisher, and backstage here I got my CPS law enforcement czar, Mr. Herbert Petty. He sits back and he's the one that monitors all of our law enforcement questions. And I know that we've been doing a lot with the law enforcement questions in these recent episodes, and the reason we're doing this is very important that you know and understand. Just because a man in uniform shows up at your house, that you don't have to abide by what he says. Now, if he has a warrant, he's got paperwork, if the judge says that he's founded them, then you absolutely do. But here's the other thing. I want you that you should always treat these guys with respect. If they're doing a job, they don't like their job sometimes. I'm sure that especially with the children are involved, they don't want to be there. They certainly aren't trying to belittle you in any way as being a parent. They're not trying to take any sides. They are just there to ensure that as far as everything goes, that everything is kept to a nice civil agreement. However, that being said, be aware of your rights. If they don't have a warrant, you don't have to let them in. If they don't have any paperwork, you don't have to talk to them. You can easily just ask them, guys, thank you very much, but you have no paperwork right now that I need to. So at this point, officer, if you could please escort this CPS agent off of my yard, I would greatly appreciate that. And if you wouldn't mind possibly giving them a no trespass, so that they're not allowed to come back on again. You can do this all very civilly so that you're not causing a confrontation, because two things can happen here. One, if you do get out of line and cause a confrontation, it could possibly end up that you go to jail. And that is going to be the complete opposite of what you want from that situation. And on the other hand, you also have CPS agents sitting there writing down all their little stuff in their books about the way that you kept your composure around this, because most likely your kids are inside. There's something. So, with all that being said, treat these guys back. They're out there defending us. And just unfortunate these days when they do come to us, they are there for a reason that we are not happy about. But that's not their fault. They're just there doing their job. With no further ado, I'm going to bring out my man right now, Mr. Herbert Petty. Herbert, how we doing tonight, my man?
Pretty good. How are you? You're doing fine.
Herbert, I don't know if you heard my opening monologue. I just wanted to reiterate to everybody that the police are just there doing.
Oh yeah, I heard it.
We need not to. Yeah. So I just need to reinforce to people that they need to pay with these officers with respect, because they're not there trying to cause problems or interfere. They're just there to ensure that it's all okay. So we need to make sure that we treat them with respect, because every other day these guys are on their asses on the line for us and defending as they can in the home front. I know that we've talked about law enforcement recently and what they do. Is there anything that we haven't covered as far as the law enforcement goes, or things that you want to talk about in this while we wait for our guest Maria to come out?
No, I think we got to wait for your guest Maria to come, because we covered all that.
All right. Okay, that's good.
In the interim of waiting for your guest Maria, do you want to throw up a video?
Sure, I can do that. Let me pop up one of these videos here that you sent me. Herbert, overall, I know that we sit here and we question the police and all of those things we are doing. But what is the feeling of a police officer when they get the call to go to these jobs?
We don't have feelings.
Okay.
We go with an open mind, because we don't know what we're walking into.
Okay. It's got to be scary first and foremost.
No, it's not scary. It's not scary.
Yeah.
It's scary to an untrained person. It's scary. To us, it's not scary. It's just part of the job.
Okay. Yeah, I guess, right? That's what you're trained for, Dave. That's why you guys go through all of that.
That's what we do.
Right. So when it's time to go down, you're not given those stakes and those quivers, right?
No, the only
But
thing
as
we're
somebody-
concerned about is following standard operating procedures.
Right. But I mean, it doesn't affect you any when you know that there's a kid there and there's a mom and dad crying, so they're going to lose their kid. And, you know, all of that's, the officers are trained for that also.
No, because I don't know the story.
Right. But if you know, when you walk up on a house, dad are crying, CPS is removing the kid, that type of tense situation, officers are trained to, obviously, you know that this is not going to be a good situation. What are some of the training and techniques do to ensure that an officer doesn't get himself wrapped up emotionally?
Stay impartial to the situation, listen to all the facts, all the information. We don't make any decisions unless I would respond with a mindset of, has there been a crime? Has someone broken the law? That's what I'm listening for.
Right. Stuff that's going on around you is more or less just outside garble. You're kind of washing all that out, like the kids crying.
That's
and
all.
that
That's all related to. That's all related to CPS.
Right. Okay. So I got this one here, Herbert. Wait, I don't know if you sent me this one or if someone else did. This one here is kidnapping with a fake warrant in Nobleville, Indiana. They've got the cops with them and everything. So let's take a peek at this one. Be interested to see this about the warrant, since we talk about this all the time. Let's see what this warrant, the fake warrant, what they say, especially the police officer being. So let's go ahead and get on here, Junior. No way here. Sorry about that. Share screen. There you go. Share screen. CPS kidnapping. Here we go. All right. Let's take this over.
I'll be bringing things over to him.
That's fine. I'm gonna wait.
Is it the dog?
No, I'm not sure what you're talking about.
I mean, what? I'm not sure why they want to take her.
So, we have staffed with our supervisor, our attorney, and the guardian ad litem, and we are going to be removing the kids from your care, and we're going to be placed with Clark. So all 3 kids are going to be placed with Clark.
For how long?
I cannot give you a date. I think this is Rob. Hi, Rob. Okay, you're fine. I just wanted to check and see. Anna just got back to the house, so they Ella just went inside to pack some stuff. I just wanted to kind of check and see where you were at. Okay. Okay, thank you so much. Bye-bye. So Rob's going to be here in about 10 minutes, and he'll take Ella over to Clark's house. And Clark is on his way back to the house as well, because Mark has just been released from the hospital.
Yeah.
So the concerns have been at Ella's school.
You said you had till next Friday. Midwest Academy just called this afternoon.
I know. I'm just saying that is part of the reason.
Well, she doesn't have to go to school.
Okay. We're not gonna.
She doesn't have.
argue
She can be
about
homeschooled,
that
which
point.
she is.
So that is part of the issues that we have had. More than that, so is the issues in regards to Mark's medical care. Mark is not appropriately receiving treatment
Yes, he
for
is.
his asthma. I understand that you're saying that, but that's not even what he's reporting to us.
He told.
Well, and you can feel that way, and you're welcome to talk to your attorney about that
We
as
will.
well. But you know, in talking with the medical professionals that have been watching him and seeing him, you know, I've been given that medical treatment that he needs. That just like you say, if he is not appropriately treated for, one of the things that you've reiterated to us is that he could have sudden death.
That was according to his pulmonologist.
Okay, but that's something that you've continued to reiterate to us over.
Well,
and
that's
over
not going to
again.
happen. Not if, now. If he goes to Clark, it might.
Okay. Well,
But
and
you'll
why
be
would you say
responsible at that point
And why would you say that?
because he uses drugs. You know that.
I know
He's
that
not.
you've
He leaves them unsupervised, and Sydney drinks alcohol. And this gentleman here has helped me on an occasion with a runaway and a belligerent husband.
So
You're putting them with a person that is irresponsible. He's not going to take care of my children, but I'm going to fight for them very hard tomorrow, starting because you're making a huge mistake. My son.
Okay, Herbert. Now we're watching this go on, this volley with the lady and the caseworker. How long does a cop stay there? Just does he sit idly by and wait until something disrupts? So he just sits there and he just minds his own business.
He'll stay there
until
until
something.
He'll stay there until the situation is over. When CPS walks away, he walks away.
Okay, so but for now, his job right now is just to observe, listen to what's being
Yep.
said, just kind of okay,
Yep.
all right.
You notice I haven't heard from him. You notice we have not heard from him.
Right. No, we've just seen him sitting there in the background, but I have a feeling that he's coming. So let's
I
see
don't have a
what-
good view of it, but I trust you.
Right. No, I don't. All we can see is the door here, so we're
He
just
always
going by
has.
what they're
I'm the one
saying.
that
I think this lady's
stays up
hiding
with
there.
him. I can't help that Clark. I can't help that, but I've been the primary caregiver. We've had these children. I breastfed them till they were 2-3 years old. I chose to homeschool them because I would not let anything happen to me, especially because he has suffered enough, and he does not want to live without his mother. But you told me, you promised me that this one.
I did not make any type of promise like that to you. I did tell you that we do whatever we can to avoid having to remove kids from their parents.
But this is why he had asthma. I mean, he's going to have more asthma, and Clark can't properly treat him.
Okay, well, we have worked with Clark. Like I said, I'm not going to argue with you about that. We are choosing to place all three of the kids with Clark.
I'll pray for you. I'll pray for them. For you especially.
So what I have to do is I'm going to be reading your rights because we are removing the kids from you.
Oh.
My attorney is also going to be your attorney as well, so they will have the different information.
Now I've never heard that before. Have you heard that, Herbert, yet?
No, I haven't heard that, and it sounds like CPS spoke to her attorney, the
Right,
parent's attorney.
Right, and she said that she was going to be reading her rights.
Yeah, she can't read her rights.
That's
Law enforcement reads the rights.
Right, but she
Well,
just said
I'm going to take that back. This is Indiana. Every state is different, Darren. Every state is different.
Right. Okay.
Even with the police, every state is different.
Right. So this
So
might be.
let's see if she reads her. Let's listen to her reading her rights.
All right. Let's hear this. All right.
Sure, you'll choose to reach out to them, but you will not be allowed to have any type of unsupervised contact with the kids.
Why? Because I might administer albuterol when he's suffering.
So we will, and somebody to be able to facilitate visits between you and the kids so that you can still see them. And I will start looking for that tomorrow to arrange that. So, in accordance to Indiana Code IC 31342 or IC 31344, the Hamilton DCS office has taken your children into custody and has filed a petition alleging that your children are children in need of services or CHINs pursuant to IC 313446. You are hereby advised that you have the following rights. You have the right, 1, to a detention hearing held by a court within 48 hours of the child's removal from the home, excluding weekends and legal holidays, and pursuant of IC 313451, and to request the return of the child at that hearing. 2, to be represented by an attorney, cross-examine witnesses, and present evidence on your own behalf. You have the right to be represented by a court-appointed attorney at your request if the court finds that you do not have sufficient financial to obtain someone to represent you. Not to make may incriminate you, and any such statements that may be a court proceeding on a petition alleging that your child is in need of services, or to request that you have your case reviewed by the Child Protection Team in accordance with IC 313336, and 5, to be advised that after July 1st, 1999, a petition to terminate the parent-child relationship must be filed whenever a child has been removed from the child's parent and is under the supervision of the local DCS office for at least 15 of the most 22 months. So again, that's not new. The children are being restricted for you, but they are being placed with Clark, so they are only partially removed from the home because they are still placed with the father or with their father. I'm a copy of this, so you have it as well.
Okay. So wow. What did you think of that, there, Herbert? Those rights right there.
Well,
that she just read.
that tells
Never have
me
heard that.
that, yeah, exactly. So that helps you to understand that every state is different. We
Right.
never heard any CPS reading the CPS rights. That's not the Miranda.
Right. No, it's definitely not the Miranda. But that's the first time I've heard of this doing this, and I wonder if this is something new now that they're doing to YA, you know what I mean, cover their asses and what they're doing opposed to just taking these kids. I'm gonna have to look into that one.
Or is that what they do in Indiana?
Right, or if that's just a stipulation for Indiana, correct. I'm gonna put
That's
that one in
right.
the book. Right. I'm gonna put that one in the book here and see if we can't get some answers for these people on that one. Because that would be really an interesting tactic to see if that's what their CPS is starting to do. But let's go on and see what little bit here.
When is your guest coming on?
I'm going to message her right now while we're watching this because she was just talking to me.
Can you call her?
Yep,
Maybe she's having a hard time getting in.
She is just messaging me. Hold on. It's such a bad situation to be in overall, you know, like just
That is for you. So you have those written down. Right now, what we just need to do is to get some clothes for the kids, as well as
I'll go get them.
that's fine. As well as if there's any medical supplies that they're going to need for Clark's house. I know that Clark does have the nebulizer or a nebulizer and asthma medication. If there is anything additional that Mark might need,
Like his mother.
to that.
Have you ever been your mother, MC?
So this isn't about my life or anything to do with me.
No. But
We
Lauren
have to
Scott
make
opened this
sure-
and she's a felon, so I will make sure that that's addressed.
And
okay. Now this I want to
Look
point
her
this
up.
out to
Look
people.
at Scotty.
So what
That's
what
fine.
typically everybody starts to do is starts to pick apart the people where these kids are going. And I'll tell you this: by doing that, you're doing a couple of things. One, if there's an opportunity that you're going to be closer to you or with someone closer to you, like for instance, this was for the father. Well, she's picking the father apart right now. You know, saying he's doing drugs, he's doing all of this, that, or the other. Okay, but you know what? You knew that these kids were going to the father. So therefore, you know that your kids are okay, despite how she feels about her ex and so on. But at least you know that that's someone safe to your ability to the mind. Now, we don't know what's going on with this situation, so we don't know. But typically, you know, like you're going to someone in your family. Now, that's better than going to someone 100 miles away that you don't know, that you won't hear from, that you have no sort of eyes on. Agreed to that,
Yes.
Herbert? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
A lot of
Yeah, I
times,
understand your point. It's not going to a stranger.
right, exactly. So at least some way you'll have some sort of community, you know, like someone will be paying attention to that. And that's very important because once they get your kid in the system and they move it far away and you have no eyes on, you don't know what's going on, and that's even healing. And secondly, that's not, if as much as you badmouth or belittle that are going to handle your child, is not going to make any difference in your case. They're not, oh, okay, never mind. Here, let's give you your kid back. That's not going to happen. So save your energy. Stop making yourself look so bad that way because then that you're out of control, that you're this, you're that, or they're going to just keep jotting things down. The more and more you fester and the more you say. That way, when they get your report at that 42-hour, 72-hour hearing, it's going to say that you were uncooperative, you were spouting out swears, you know, talking bad about the people, all of this stuff that you don't need to have for going into court 72 hours later, trying to show the judge that you're a danger to your child. You know, because there's that imminent danger risk that they still have to prove once you go to the judge. However, don't give them the ammunition. Just be quiet as a police officer, accept what they're saying because nothing's going to change between this point and the hearing. This lady has clearly made up her mind. There's a cop there to do this. It sucks. I know it. I've been through it myself. But you need to just share whosa ammunition to use against you. That's the worst thing that you can do, is run these situations and give them something that they didn't have already.
Like I said, I'm talking about, nor
My
do I
son
talk
wouldn't
about,
date her, so she got angry.
personal information for coworkers or myself.
It
So-
seems to be that personal is just not pertinent.
So if we can go inside and get stuff for the
No,
kids,
you won't. You're not going to my
Okay, well,
house.
you're gonna have to wait till-
He's allowed to.
I mean, that's fine if you want to do that. But,
You're sketchy. You lie.
okay, welcome to think whatever you want to do.
This gentleman is allowed to come with me. I don't want you harming my daughter either. So that's been her biggest fear.
Okay. And if that's the case, you're going to need to wait till Ella comes out before you go.
Well, he won't let you do anything to her. You don't have like any DUIs like Lauren Scott does.
Again,
And she
I'm
gets
not
pulled
talking
over a
about-
lot for reckless driving and stuff.
I don't know what you're talking about, and I'm not going to talk about coworkers.
Our
Completely irrelevant to
case.com,
what we're
mycase.com,
discussing.
they work for you. I mean, mycase.gov, I'm sorry.
That's fine.
Lauren Scott, she opened the Chins case. She's a felon, I think 2 times.
Okay. At this point,
It
the
says,
case
please
is
don't
ordered
speed
by
when
a
you leave
judge.
with my daughter. These are my children. They'll be back here.
You don't have the ability to restrict me talking to Ella.
I don't want speed. I didn't say you can't talk. But Lauren gets pulled over once a week, and I think she had to go to court for a DUI last week.
That's completely irrelevant to anything
No,
going on
I mean,
right
you guys
now.
are all the same age. She's the one that opened it. That's why I'm bringing it up.
Okay, but again, the is who's ordered this.
Now that's a young
Not-
cop, right? He doesn't know much about
You're
what's
welcome
going on
to
here.
do
He,
that, but-
I am.
clearly, he's a young guy.
Look at peace, because I know that everything will be okay.
So,
What, a police officer?
Yeah,
if you
Yeah, he's just
Yeah,
there. I
Go
can be
to
the one
front
standing
door.
there.
Yeah, I have
Right.
a little bit bigger, but
but his
is
experience
one- I
level,
don't
wouldn't you
want
say
her
his
in my house.
experience is probably a little bit off there?
I
No,
wish he wouldn't.
he's just being. He has no
He might
he has
say
no
my
skin
dog
in the
hurt or
game.
something.
Right.
The dog's friendly. I mean, it's just yeah. And
Looking.
sometimes
We're just
Dan
getting
needs
Oh.
stuff and let Ella get her downstairs.
we're just getting clothing.
And any kind of medicine that's needed.
Medicine.
yeah. But locked
If
up.
Mark has anything that he likes to sleep with or anything like that
He likes to sleep with his mom. He sleeps with me still. It's terrifying that you guys do this to families.
I agree.
Especially a mom has got cancer, and I think that's why you're doing it, and that's really bad. I'm sorry.
Why would you think that had anything to do with
I'm
it,
so
or that I
sorry
would-
you are in this position. I don't feel bad for you. We live in. And I want to make sure that Clark needs to be supervised.
All right, she's coming here.
Your children and Clark are both under the supervision of DCS right now. Great.
I'll let you know, I've worked with her before, and she's very professional at taking care of
It's not
kids.
her that started
And-
the case. I don't
Right.
really blame her. That's why I keep
And
bringing
no
up
one's
Lauren.
asking you to give up the fight for your children.
I'm not going to. I
Right.
don't deserve this.
Their biggest concerns are the children. No one's asking
Mine
you to
too.
give up the fight.
So
No one's trying to put your kids in harm's way.
Okay, so there's the cop explaining.
So if there's any problems that you have, where are they staying at? Where's the Clark?
Yeah.
at?
right across the street in those apartments.
The newer apartments on the
Like
126.
So there was the cop doing his job. Marie's going to be with us in just a second. So there was
Yeah.
the cop now finally explaining what his role was.
Okay.
You know, where he just said, look, we're just here to make sure that everything's okay, you know, and he's now and here you heard it right, he was almost defending, you know, he's defending the integrity of these guys that are with DHS here.
Yeah.
They're good people. And I don't see a major problem with that. I don't see him as siding with them on that. I think he's just trying to confirm their professionalism with this lady and giving her a little bit more comfort about the people that are taking her kid. In my opinion, that's all that's
Yes.
happening.
Yes.
Yeah. Instead of trying to be a full-on, drag out. I'm not letting her take it because this guy's offering.
Well, you have had
personal information.
videos. You've had videos where the cop did most of the talking, which I thought was inappropriate.
Correct. Yep. And then tomorrow we'll get to one of the that I just watched. There's one that I really want to just maybe take.
I want you to watch your videos. You know what? Here's a good idea. Watch your videos so you know what to expect when you share it with us.
Right. No, absolutely. This one here. Watch. You'll see. Watch this here. Ready? Watch this. Watch this.
It's considered criminal.
Yeah. Okay. If you have any beliefs that they're being neglected, you can contact DCS. If you have any beliefs that abuse is going on, you can contact Carmel Police, and we will investigate and make false claims. But if you go and visit and you see something, you have every right, because they're your children still. If you believe that's going on, we're not going to stop investigating.
I'm not allowed to see them though.
She said you'll have
We'll have visitations set up. So, right now we're going to try and see if that's something that Chris can help facilitate, since she already knows you and the kids.
But do you think this is... Will I have a better understanding of why exactly that... I mean, if they go with Dad, and he's not the caretaker, I'm the one that helps Mark, why are they being taken away from me?
So the problem is that Mark is getting the medical treatment that he needs regularly to ensure his safety.
Yes, he is.
Okay, and according to the medical professionals that were working with us, they're telling us contradictory information to what you're saying.
I know that Dr. Sangaris is the only one that
And
would
again,
say
I
that.
haven't even talked to Dr. Sangaris. I
As
have
I'm
not
telling
talked
you,
to him yet.
If you can talk to the doctor that's giving him any kind of medicine or anything, and provide I'm sure get with your lawyer and see what you got to do to show that you are. If you are, then I think it'll be an easy situation to reverse. But that's
because Dr. Sangaris doesn't want Clark with the kids. That was his biggest argument. He told me to leave him because he was harming me.
Biggest thing is I would talk to your lawyer. Make sure you're getting sound legal advice, because we're not lawyers.
Nope. And I can't give you legal advice.
Right, as I can't either. But I would imagine if what you're saying that you are giving him for medical, then I imagine that would be an easy thing to prove.
Yes.
So get with your lawyer and what you got to do to prove it.
Okay.
And go from there. Okay.
I mean, is old enough to.
Now he goes ahead.
Attention. She's taking forever. Oh, Bill, it's mommy.
Are we able to go? Can we just go around through the kitchen?
Well, the garage door is broken.
Oh, is it?
My doors were. The back door was. The knob fell off.
Yeah.
She probably went around the back door.
So at this point now, this is it. It comes to the
She
end of the
doesn't
video.
understand
At
that.
this point now, so the cops had enough. The cop goes ahead, and then they abruptly ended the video. But the cops had enough. But this is what I was getting to. At what point the cops, what did they? And I think at that point, that's what we just saw. Like he's had enough talking with her. He's tried to give his side to the story to her. She's not listening. She's not having anything to do with it. Trying to coax her and feel better. So it's time for him to go and get the child.
Yeah, right, exactly.
That's where they stopped.
Obviously, the part that we didn't know about is that she knew by her attorney that they were coming to get the child.
Right.
So she knew that.
So we would assume that she knew that because she's he's warned her. So yeah, I mean she knew, so they were prepared. The kid obviously, I think that it was a good example of all the way around just a nice proper, I mean that's about as good as I think as you're going to get to when the police come and take your child, when they come with CPS and take your child. The mother was very, going on and on about her, the case and trying to belittle. She was very calm. Clearly she doesn't want to give up her percent. She doesn't want to give up her kids. She doesn't want to, cause more of a scene because there's a lot of people around there. Clearly, it was a nice neighborhood. It was a nice, a nice house. The cop was very assertive, and he was trying to play in both sides. The caseworker was not rude in any way. She stayed very professional. I mean, ideally, that was a perfect scenario, short of the fact that they're taking the kids. And that, I think, the reason I played that one is to see what I guess, a manageable and a decent situation would be in that situation, or how it should be handled. Because I think that was a pretty good footprint for how you could get away without, overexerting, without getting loud and out of control. Because what you need to realize is nothing is going to change at this moment. So don't put yourself down to a hole that you want to get out of. Because nothing's
No, it's not going to change. The only change that's going to take place is in the courtroom with the parent, CPS, and the judge.
Right. Correct. And now the other thing is the law states that 24 hours after your kid is taken, that you're supposed to have contact with them. They have 24 hours for you to establish contact with your child. You have 72
Is that in
hours.
Is that in every state?
You know what? I'm not a lawyer. I don't know for a fact, but I want to say that that's kind of their rules that are passed down. I know in the state of Maine, for instance, yes, you have 24 hours. And I know in another couple of states that it's 24 hours. So make sure you check with your state guidelines. But I'm pretty sure that's a standard. That's a standard thing. So they don't want you to tear your kid away, and then your kid's wondering why, especially when they're at a young age. Why they're being torn away, or who's tearing them away, or whatever. 72 hours to have this hearing, which this hearing does a couple of things. One, that hearing is based on a preponderance amount of evidence, which again, we'll talk about. The amount of evidence is like no evidence at all. A minute amount of evidence that they have to come out and prove. They don't even have to prove that there was abuse and neglect. They only have to prove that there could be a possible chance of abuse and neglect. So a lot of attorneys will waive this hearing to have any down the line, because this is a chess game now. Once you get involved with CPS, it's a chess game. It's a strategy from place to place to place. That's always been said by a lot of these top attorneys. You go into this 72-hour hearing. If you say something out of line, or something that can be used against you in evidence at your jeopardy hearings, or at your TPR hearing, or anything further, because now this is a law finding. Now they're going to be stacking evidence against you. So if you go in there with all kinds of rambling, they're going to be able to use them. So a lot of attorneys, where they're fresh in things, you hadn't even talked to them yet, they've just been given to you. A lot of attorneys will waive this because they do not want to add more problems, if you will, to further down the line before they themselves. There is that, because they're not educated to what you're doing. It's no different than you, like being a cop. They need to hear what's going on. There's not by just being an attorney and what they could have broken the law by, because again, this preponderance amount of evidence is the basis for this hearing. So it's very, very easy to come across and to prove, unfortunately. And I feel like, my personal opinion, I feel like that amount of evidence should be thrown away, because I think that that's too much to be able to steal a little child from a house. I mean, that's just too much leeway and too much room to be able to just go and take a family and dismantle it and then hold them for months at a time. Because at the minimum, you're not getting your child back until at least this 72-hour hearing goes by. And that's just at the minimum. Now, if they find you guilty at this 72-hour hearing, or they find some level or degree of abuse or neglect, now you're moved to going into, further down the road. So your child's going to be gone further. Now you're talking about visitations, talking about a whole other wave of things. So that's what to expect at your next step after the police remove your child. And it's a very, very hard thing to go through. It sucks. It's very painful number one thing in your life that is, been the most important thing to you up until that point is being not only torn away from you, but people are telling you that you suck at it. And that's a very hard thing to swallow. It's very hard to have someone come into your house and tell you that you are no good at what you're doing, or that you in fact did put your child at risk of danger. Like that's a big one for me. Like whoa, 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 whoa. I did not put my child at danger, because what we have to remember is that what all these findings are about. The findings are all about if that child was in imminent danger and if that child had to be removed from that place at that moment. Meaning, if that child, there was no chance in hell that that child was going to survive another minute in there. And this is where I have the problem with it also, that there's no chance in hell that people are going to be able to have the child won't survive. That means that there should be ambulances, there should be fire trucks, there should be police sirens, there should be all kinds of things going on in this situation to remove this child. See that in any of these cases, what we see is a caseworker and a police officer. And that to me doesn't say imminent danger. I like to believe that if you're in an imminent danger situation, this is the at the top moment of everything. Like this, where imminent danger needs to be discussed and decided upon what imminent danger truly is. This is another problem with the system that we have. This is another problem where the courtrooms are really mucking this up. That word is being used. Imminent danger is, you didn't tie a shoe to the person in the house was murdered, but all of those, there was a murderer. Those all things imminent danger, and to me that's wrong, because imminent, the utmost can't wait, destructive, bad situation is at hand here, and we don't have time, because a lot of these imminent danger situations, the judges won't even have to rule on these. A lot of these, like we saw in that video we watched the other day, that cop is able to make that decision. If he's at the side of a job, to say, oh, these people are not in safe capacity, so now we as police officers can go ahead and write a removal warrant for these people, and then that will be going through. Also, they have a thing called rubber stamping, where the caseworker can go ahead and say, to the best of their knowledge and their ability, they're supposed to sign an affidavit. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't, or whatever, but they have a rubber stamp where someone, if not them in their department, goes to someone that is in their department that has a judge's stamp, that the judge is given authorization to make the decision based on their best of knowledge, and they go ahead and rubber stamp these things. So the judges don't even realize that this is going on when they see you in court for the first time. But yet you think signed it, that they're knowledgeable about what's going on. That's not the case. Again, the judges are allowing people to represent them in some sort of faction in their capacity during these investigations, and that's another spot right there that I feel is a part of scrutiny that needs to be assessed, because we're giving to the people and the caseworker that are coming into the home, that are at that moment deciding that the home is unworthy of it's not even livable, like that's kind of what they're saying. There's no running water in the fridge, there's no any of this stuff, when in fact there could be all of these, because this caseworker isn't accustomed to life at a different level of standard. If you really, or if you grow up and your parents are millionaires and you're in a fancy part of town, well, you're not used to the apartment building that's down on D Avenue down here, and that they're lucky that they got 2 bedrooms and a kitchen, but yet it's still a livable condition. So therefore, these things also are about scrutiny. What is acceptable and what's not, because the girl that grew up, or the boy that grew up in this fancy house with the millionaire parents, are going to have a different ideal of what's acceptable and what's not acceptable to people in that situation, that everything was considered. We're not talking about cockroaches running around and things like that, because obviously those are situations that would need to be dealt with. But what we are talking about is the difference between someone that grew up in a fancy rich neighborhood and someone that grew up in a poor neighborhood, all of them having food, education, medical conditions. So because you have some dirty dishes in the sink doesn't make you a bad parent. Just because there's dirty laundry on the floor doesn't make you a bad parent. All of these things together don't make you bad parents, but DHS is being able to use this against people, and it's very unfortunate. And there are these things, imminent danger. And it's really, really starting to get out of control. It's starting to be too much. It's starting to be too much. I call it a God complex, if you will. There's just too much that's being put out here for these people that isn't being addressed and not recognized. Hey, Herbert, we just had Cody in here, and now he just left. I don't know where he went. Cody, you were here. Come back, my man. Oh, we had him for a moment. We did have him. He was here. But, darn. It was like fishing. I should have thrown the wire out quicker. Cody, if you can hear me, come on back, my friend. But Herbert, you understand what I'm saying about the different levels of
Yes.
Right? Like these are all definitions that need more clarity, I believe. These things need to be discussed more. They need to be written into law as how they are, when they can be applied in such a way, and what avenues that they cover, because imminent danger is too broad. I mean, that's like calling up the police department and just saying, hey, I've got a call here. You know, like that's about the size of what's going on when they're being able to use this word imminent danger. You don't know what you're pulling up to. These people are saying that it's an absolute extreme time that they're going to one. So same situation, vice versa. So, this needs to be limited, and it needs to be done immediately, because are losing their children when using a word such as imminent danger. I could pull out the Black's Law Dictionary here and tell you exactly what imminent danger means. You'll be surprised. I will do that. Let me get this up for you guys. We'll go over this a couple of terms while we're waiting for our guest to come back. It's not. But these are all important things when dealing with these situations. Believe it or not, guys, this is stuff that can save you, save your kids. I know it seems like it's not so granular at this point, but it'll click in your head when you're talking to your attorneys and you say, whoa, wait a minute. I do remember that guy saying something about this. But remember, we aren't attorneys either. So that too needs to be put into effect. This is the Black's Law Dictionary right here. This is the 7th edition. So it's one of the newer ones that's been updated. And let's see what the word imminent brings up for us here. Imminent danger. Okay, see danger. Okay, so we go back to danger here. A, B, C, D, danger. Oh, Herbert, I keep forgetting that we got the chat. So here looks like someone was in the chat. What do we got here? Mercy Crocs. Hello, I would love you to inbox me or send messenger. Okay, Mercy, how are you? See here, we'll pull that across. Mercy, watching. I'd love to inbox you as well. Let us know where your email is or what it is. That would be great, and maybe we can get you on here and you can discuss a case if you've got one with us. Not with us, with CPS. And that's also, guys, if you're your comments here, when you leave comments for us, they're all there. It's not going to show that, but if I go ahead and start typing in here, it's a good way for you guys to ask us questions and get to talking with us. Let's see. Also, I'd like to show you guys the hats that we've got at the abolishcps.com website. We have a bunch of apparel there that helps out with the stigma of what's going on with the CPS thing. It's a way for you to show the anti-CPS movement, stop corruption movement. And if you have something else that you call it different and you want to have something designed at abolishcps.com, you can also do that. So those are things there. I mean, I have all kinds of things, all of these things from scratch, all these logos and created by me. Like you see the sweatshirt here, this is one of the hoodies. If you click on this QR code right here, it will bring you right to the page on the website, and it will go right to those things. Also, I have this is the one designed for me. This is the CPS Punisher on the arm. It's got all of the CPS logos. It's got the UCFF logo, all of that CPS.com here. And then on the back, it has the CPS Punisher logo. So that's a cool one. I've got that one. Also, we got this one here for your children to wear. The property of my mom and dad. Stop CPS corruption. These are the AbolishCPS.com store, which you should definitely check out. And then, of course, there's support this stream. You can go ahead and click on this, and that means you guys can go ahead and donate some money to help support the aspects of the show. So if you could do that, that would be greatly appreciated. And it will not go unnoticed. I mean, anything from a share to $5 to $10 to $100 to whatever you can give, that would be amazing. Every little bit will help in this growing because it's hard to grow an empire of trillions of dollars a year. Now, back to what I was saying. Imminent. We go. It says for us to go to danger, and we come up here, and it says GARGER. Danger. I don't know how many people out there actually remember a dictionary or what they look like, but to your youngins, this here is a dictionary.
I'm glad you had it and you enjoyed
it. Inside of here, it has words, meanings, and all kinds of stuff. All right, danger. Here we go. All right. Damages, area, danger, nope, danger. All right, apparent danger, imminent danger. It's an immediate, real threat to one's safety that justifies the use of force in self-defense. Criminal law, the danger resulting from an injury sufficient to cause a reasonable and prudent person to defend himself or herself. And that's what imminent danger means by the law terms. All right? That's that by law terms. So that seems like it's something pretty damn severe. That seems like that's something that warrants an ambulance, some firepower maybe. Something is going on that's so terrible that it requires excessive force to either defend yourself or to defend yourself in the situation that you're in. And these caseworkers going into houses, seeing a stack of dirty dishes, isn't that? Dirty laundry on the floor. Lead paint, they say, is an imminent danger. But lead paint is only dangerous to you if the chips are on the floor or if you're sanding it. But an imminent danger. So imminent danger has to be something that's so wow that it warrants them to come and take your kid. Remember that. This is the page number nothing. Oh, I'm sorry. It's page number 429 and 420 and 421 is where we see imminent danger, the definition for that. And it's very, very important. Write that down, guys. Imminent danger, pages 420, 421 in the Black's Law Dictionary. That is something that could save you when you're trying to talk to your attorneys. You're like, what did that guy talk about? Imminent danger's definition, page 420 and 421 in the Black's Law Dictionary. If any of you are watching, if you have something else that you'd like me to look up real quick, we're coming up on the last few minutes of the show here. I guess, again, we'll be without guests, but, I plowed my mouth long enough to get us through another hour. But if you guys want to go ahead and email me at info@abolishcps.com, or if you have any law enforcement questions for her, also reach Herbert at that email address. It's info@abolishcps.com. So that's the best way that you can get in touch with us. Make sure that you check out our website, abolishcps.com. That's another way to get in touch with us. The chat here, that's a way to get in touch with us. In all of these ways. Herbert, we're wrapping up. I don't think you got any last words that you'd like to come on with?
No, I think you covered everything.
I think we covered it all tonight. Tonight was just a laid back night with a little bit of watching?
Yes.
All right. Cool, Herbert. All right. Well, Herbert, thank you so much for joining me tonight. Like I said, I'm going to wrap us up early tonight, and we'll get going out of here. Guys, just remember, when the cops come, they're doing their have to abide by what they say unless they have a warrant. Otherwise, send them packing, people. These people are very, very tricky in how they make you family feel. You and you get things. If they don't have a warrant, if they don't have any paperwork, if they got nada, send them packing. Have that cop give them a trespass note. Get them out of your property. I'm the CPS Punisher, guys.